Hey guys, so this is what if Deku was, well, had the Omnitrix, part 8. Now guys, before I get into what if, I'm going to be stating what ifs I am going to be canceling. Now, I'm going to be canceling what if Deku was, I'm going to be canceling what if Deku was Quicksilver, what if Deku was Vision, and also what if Deku was, what should we call it? Also, we'll be canceling what if that I had in the works? I am gonna be canceling what if Deku, what should I call it? What if Deku, I think it was, okay, no. Yeah, those are the only what ifs I'm gonna be canceling for now. My old what ifs, they're probably already canceled at this point, and I'm probably not gonna make a part 2 to it, or part 3 to it, unless somebody asks for it. Now, guys, I have about 5 more what ifs that I'm gonna be uploading this week. What if what if Belle from Is It So Hard to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon was a werewolf part 4. Also, I'm gonna be uploading what if Deku was a vampire, was a demon hybrid, and also what if Deku went to a werewolf and vampire skull hybrid. And also, I'm going to be doing another what if that the same creator from those 2 last what ifs I just explained just, ingested to me about 6 days ago. Now, I literally didn't, I don't think I have a Discord. I don't even know what a Discord is. But, yeah, I don't have a Discord. But, for now, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make one. But yeah, so basically, Deku is going to have, yeah, he's gonna be, what if Deku was a new what if I'm gonna be uploading with the help of Laura Snow. Also, I'm gonna be uploading what if Deku was in Vampire and Werewolf School part 4 or 3. What if Deku was a demon hybrid part 2. Also, I'll be uploading what if Deku was Hellboy part 4. Part 3. And also will be uploading what if Deku was what should we call it? I also will be uploading what if Deku was Speedster Part 3. So yeah. So guys, I also will be uploading what if Deku was in FNAF. I don't know, someone wanted to do, what if Deku was in FNAF Part 1 and all the way to 20. And that's never gonna happen. So if you requested that, I don't know anything about FNAF, at least not enough to make a whole entire what if on it. So I guess you just gotta, get your own what if for the bug. So basically, yeah, so Deku is going to have basically, last time sorry guys, let me get my mind straight. So guys, enough with the small talk or the long talk, let's get into the what if. Now basically, Deku is going to, last time I left off, Bakugo got captured because Bakugo got captured because Vilgax wanted the Anti-Tricks. He also wanted the Omnitrix, but he got stopped by Kevin and Ben before he can do anything like that. So basically, he captures, he captures Deku. He captures Bakugo and starts beating the absolute beating the absolute, you know, well, dookie out of him, just beating him senseless with his feet, crushing his bones, and shattering about 47 bones with pretty much like a laser bat, pretty much making bruises and burn marks all around Bakugo's body. Bakugo spits up blood in Vilgax's face, saying, I'm never gonna give you the anti-tricks." Basically, they already got the anti-tricks off, but pretty much Bakugo made a DNA switch on the anti-tricks, and the anti-tricks can only be used by the willing voice of the person that made the anti-tricks, and Bakugo made the anti-tricks. Basically, Vilgax gets pissed and is about to kill Bakugo, but he, gets cool-minded and says, "I need you," and pretty much walks off, kicking Bakugo in the stomach, making him cough up some blood, and puncturing his liver. At this point, Bakugo's gonna die in like an hour or two, because of, quirks and all that stuff. So basically, Bakugo, is on the floor, but tied to a pillar by chains, sitting down and coughing up blood. Basically, Vilgax's henchmen walk past Bakugo, shooting him with a little bit of stun lasers, making him, bleed out even more. Basically, Bakugo whispers to himself and says, help me, Deku." And we switch back to Deku. And basically, Deku was together a team to follow Vilgax, because Vilgax was teamed up with One For All. And basically, Deku goes down there to One For All, and basically goes down to the pretty much place One For All was originally, hiding where the pro heroes found, everybody. So basically, Deku gets ready and basically gets started. Basically, Deku gets up and starts getting ready. Deku pretty much has the same disguise that he had in canon when they went off to find, Bakugo. Basically, Deku takes Kevin, Ben, Gwen, and also takes, another person, a Pyro Knight. Basically, that was, an intern that was with Kevin. Basically, and also Deku takes Momo, because Momo in this canon, in this universe, is Deku's, girlfriend. And basically, he also takes Kirishima and Todoroki. Basically, they get ready and they pretty much get started. Now, basically, they're, blending into the crowd with, disguises. And basically, Kevin and Ben and Gwen just having, not having disguises at all. Just wearing, different clothes. Basically, Deku and the rest of them get ready. And basically, Deku, pretty much strays along from the group with the intern, the Power Knight intern, and walks off. Pretty much they walk off, and Deku meets up with the rest of the group. Meet up with Deku, and Deku's looking over a couple, pretty much the same space where they, were looking at All Might fighting One For All, because All Might did show up there and start fighting One For All. They were fighting, and pretty much One For All was about to use his, go all out. And basically, Vilgax showed up. Vilgax took out one of his laser, swords and says, stand back, human." All Might looks at him saying, "Stand back, villain." Pretty much, Vilgax smirks at this and takes out a laser blaster and shoots All Might in the leg, blasting a hole clean through All Might's leg, making him fall to the ground, making him pass out and lose his cool and deflate. All for One's about to end this and kill All Might, but Vilgax says revenge has to be sweet, not taken down and swallowed in one foul swoop. Basically, he takes out a laser bat, or whatever it was, and gives it to One For All. One For All starts being the absolute crud, the absolute dookie. I mean, straight up making All Might cough up gallons of blood, just slamming it into All Might's stomach, back, and even his hoo-ha. And pretty much, just straight up, he's basically, at this point, All Might's passed out, and he just passed out from the pain. One For All is just still beating him up, laughing maniacally. Basically, Deku tries to step in, but the Power Knight intern, takes Deku and pretty much says to stand down. Deku says, "Get off of me," and I had to stop this, and pretty much slaps the hand of the Power Knight off of his arm. Deku transforms and goes all in. Transforms into Stingray and pretty much Jet Ray, and flies towards Vilgax. Vilgax looks at this, and pretty much takes out his laser blaster, shooting into Deku. Deku dodges it, shooting lasers at Vilgax, and Vilgax dodging it. Vilgax jumps away from the fight, pretty much fighting Deku, in another area where the fight happened, where One For All and All Might were fighting. One For All was still being the absolute, being literal life out of All Might, but we're now really going to focus more on Bakugo. Bakugo's still in the warehouse, or on the pillar left of the warehouse that was blown up. Bakugo tries to, get himself off of the pillar. He pretty much uses his last of his strength and uses a little bit of explosions to break the chains off. He, crawls off, and the Power Knight intern jumps in and flies towards Bakugo. But One For All sees this and shoots a huge cast of wind pressure towards the Power Knight, and extinguishing his flames and pushing him into a piece, pretty much, a rebel, knocking him out. Pretty much, Kevin and Ben and Gwen and Momo, Todoroki, and Kirishima jump in, and Todoroki makes a huge ice pillar, making Kirishima able to grab Bakugo, and the pretty much Ben using a little bit of his, Daxamite or don't know what it is, his energy powers to grab pretty much the Power Knight intern and swing him towards him, getting out of there in one foul swoop. One for all tries to take him down, but All Might gets up a little bit and he pretty much inflates his arm, doing a 5,058 100% of One for All, doing a last plus Ultra pretty much right in the back of One for All's back, shattering One for All's spine, pretty much paralyzing him. All Might pretty much falls onto the ground, still bleeding, and his arm deflated again. Pretty much everybody looks at this, and All Might uses the last of his strength to get back up and say, "Your turn, your turn." Pretty much falling down to the ground, saying that to Mirio, because Mirio in this canon has Deku's quirk. Basically, All Might's quirk. So basically, Deku's still fighting, Vilgax's Stingray, but Deku transforms into some sort of new transformation that he doesn't know. Vilgax is smart to this and says, "A Saiyan. I haven't seen one of those since my young years. They're so rare nowadays. Their planet's dead. How do you even have the DNA of that species? None of them are alive." Pretty much Deku says, "Whatever," and pretty much feels right to him, pretty much punching, Vilgax, making Vilgax go flying. Deku's surprised by this, but pretty much flies, rocketing towards Vilgax. Vilgax dodges a couple attacks, and Deku starts shooting, blast of energy. Now, basically, you're probably wondering, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Saiyans can use energy attacks naturally, but if they can't, correct me in the comments, guys. And let's say, since Deku should start using blast effects. Now they'll say, whatever, the Omnitrix gives Deku the ability to use key energy off the bat with little effort. So yeah, so basically Deku just using key energy and pretty much starts shooting blast of energy and waves of pretty much key towards pretty much Vilgax, shooting lasers and blasts towards Vilgax, cutting the Vilgax a little bit and actually, making permanent damage on him. Pretty much Vilgax gets the upper hand using one of his tentacle arms to tackle around Deku. Deku gets out of Vilgax's hold and pretty much flies towards him using the Kamehameha as he flies and stopping and pretty much right in front of Vilgax's face, shooting off the Kamehameha right into Vilgax's face, shooting Vilgax into the ground, almost knocking him out. Vilgax uses a little bit of his strength to do a huge left hook, using all of his strength, pretty much knocking Deku out of the Saiyan form. Deku gets back up, coughing up blood with a bloody and beaten up suit, being pretty much gets scraped and cut by the impact of him detransformating before he even gets on top of the ground and, breaks some skin. Pretty much Deku gets back up, coughing up blood, saying that's all you got, and pretty much slapping the Omnitrix and transforming into Eye Guy, shooting lasers and ice beams and fire beams pretty much at Vilgax, weakening Vilgax and almost winning, but before Deku can pretty much do the last finishing blow, pretty much Vilgax takes upper hand, grabbing Deku by the head and pretty much throwing him into the wall and starting to try to crush Deku's head. Deku's about to die at this point, but Bakugo steps in, grabbing the Anti-Trix as, they retreated, pretty much transforming into Ripjaws, biting into Vilgax's arm. Vilgax pretty much slaps Bakugo off and pretty much grabs Bakugo's arm and pretty much rips it clean off. Now, Bakugo, when he fell down to the ground, he transformed. Bakugo yelling out in pain and pretty much bleeding out. Bakugo seemingly, basically dying. Now, seemingly, that's a scratch. Bakugo is dead. He's dead at this point. Bakugo is dead. Basically, Vilgax takes Bakugo's arm and pretty much takes it off of, Bakugo's, pretty much wrist. Pretty much, using a little bit of energy that he picked up or absorbed a little bit of it when, when Bakugo dies, it's actually a failsafe that allows anybody to wear the Omnitrix that Bakugo never told anybody. But Vilgax took, an effort and pretty much took a chance and said it worked. Slapping on the the anti-tricks and transforming into Wrath, doing cuts and slashes into Deku. Now, mind you, Deku was still in human form at this point because he was detransformed. Basically, Deku starts getting cut, slashed, and pretty much wielded into almost, death, and pretty much starts getting back up. Deku's in human form. Deku goes for the Omnitrix, but Vilgax grabs Deku's arm, about to cut it off. But Vilgax is hit with a nasty blow with energy at the back of his body, pretty much sending him flying. Deku looks behind himself, and he sees that it's basically Deku looks behind himself and he sees Azimuth. Azimuth pretty much tells Deku that to get up. Deku gets up, and pretty much Azimuth says the Omnitrix is overloaded. You use too much energy. Pretty much, taking the Omnitrix off and throwing it away, making it explode as it's in the air. Bakugo yells out and says, "What are you doing?" Pretty much Vilgax says, Azimuth says, "Chill. Be calm," and pretty much uses a transformation device to teleport a new Omnitrix. Pretty much Deku's confused and what you would call it. Basically, Azimuth jumps on top of Deku's wrist and says, "You earned it. The finished project of the Omnitrix. The true Omnitrix. Now, I might make a new one along the years, but for now, this is my last finishing product. The Omnitrix that I've been imagining for all these years. With every last DNA sample of pretty much alien from all sorts of DNAs, universes, and even different timelines and realities. Now have fun and take down Vilgax." And pretty much Azimuth teleports away. Pretty much Deku gets up and transforms into a new alien, Kryptonian DNA. Deku runs towards Vilgax, and Vilgax getting back up, transforming into way big. Deku flies up into the air. Now Deku basically has that automatic thinking processor. Basically, Deku, if he transforms into a new transformation, Deku knows everything about that transformation, even the race, and even the language of that alien. And basically, Deku will be able to turn it off, turn it back on, because after the fight, Deku will be losing that, pretty much instant knowing of pretty much alien superpowers. So basically, Deku's flying around, shooting laser beams that are green from his eyes, right at Vilgax. Vilgax tries to run away, or, try to swat Deku away like a fly, but Deku grabs Vilgax's arm or hand and pretty much starts breaking way big bones, and that's a lot of strength. Pretty much breaking bones that are literally as big as buildings, and probably are probably a lot more thicker than maybe even vibranium, probably. Basically, shooting lasers at, Vilgax. Vilgax gets pushed away, but Vilgax trying to get back up and take down Deku. Deku gets away from, all the attacks, and basically shoots a huge amount of pretty much wind pressure, breaking a few bones into the Weibig's body. Pretty much Vilgax detransforms, and Deku runs towards Vilgax, pretty much flying through him. Flying through him. You understand? Like, he torpedoes through his body, killing him instantly. Pretty much going into the ground, because Vilgax is on the floor. Pretty much he grinds into Vilgax's body and goes underground and flies back up, grabbing Vilgax's dead corpse and throwing it into the sky and into the sun. But Deku getting a lot more stronger because he flew to the sun, pretty much flying back down to Earth and running towards, All Might, and pretty much helping All Might out. Deku transforms into Clockwork and reverses time on All Might's body. All Might comes back to life, or recuperates, and pretty much says thank you, Zuko Midoriya. and pretty much gets back up. Time being reversed on All Might, meaning All Might still has a little bit of slivers of One For All that he used on All For One. Now basically, All For One, I mean One For All. I actually do not know the difference. One For All or All For One. The bad guy, he's paralyzed. Pretty much to take him to the, you know, pretty much facility. Now he does have a quirk that allows him to regenerate, but it'll probably take years or even centuries before he can even start healing or even start walking or even start, you know, even pretty much tiptoeing on his legs again, or even, well, basically sitting down or getting up from a seat, not even walking at this point. So basically it'll take years for him to even start to even, you know, simply tiptoe or like slightly just, you know, old man walk. So basically, One For All, you know, is bedridden and almost, and you know, permanently, basically in short time he is paralyzed. So basically, after that whole entire situation, Deku recuperates, going back to his dorm, being scolded by the heroes, but also being congratulated by all sorts of other heroes and saying that you're a real hero. You saved the world. And pretty much, you know, cheering and, you know, hip hip hooray. Pretty much, you know, Deku getting a lot of, you know, graduated and all the girls in the class when they keep trying to get into Deku. But, you know, Momo, they knowing that, you know, Deku's dating Momo. Basically, Momo, you know, pretty much hugs Deku and pretty much says, I love you, and pretty much Deku getting blushing, saying, you never said that before. And basically, we skip a couple of days later after Bakugo pretty much gets the Omnitrix from the dead corpse, gets the Anti-Trix back from the dead corpse of Vilgax. Because before Deku threw, you know, Vilgax's body into the sun, his arm fell off where the Anti-Trix was on. So basically, Vilgax's one-armed body fell into the sun. Deku flying down, pretty much throwing the arm on the ground before, you know, he turned the clockwork and saved, you know, All Might. Pretty much he gives the Anti-Trix back to, you know, Bakugo as a gift. Bakugo says thank you, and pretty much looks at it and says, do I really need you? Now, basically, Deku leads him to, you know, contemplate. Now, guys, there's a question I want to ask you guys. Should Bakugo keep the Anti-Trix, or should he just go back to using his quirk? So, yeah, guys. So, basically, Deku, you know, rocks. Goes home, pretty much hugs his mom, saying, I'm sorry, Mom, but are you proud of me? She says, of course I am, pretty much hugging Deku again. Deku's dad showing up, saying, you saved the world, son. You saved the universe, too. I'm pretty much hugging Deku. Now, basically, after all that situation, the new villain, since Vilgax is dead, the new villain for, you know, the next season, or the next, you know, new season of this What If. Now, this is probably the farthest I got with a What If. This is probably, yeah, guys, so this is the first What If I ever got to the One For All arc at, and this is a huge success for me. So, guys, this is the first What If that I got as far as I got with this What If. Now, hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that's basically, I'm not ending the video off, but yeah, guys. So, I'm one step closer to getting to the overhaul arc. So yeah, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, see you guys later. Bye, and as always, guys, have a blessed day.